Hi everyone, welcome to another Gannett training. I'm Mike Riley, your trainer again for today. We're in part 2 of our fact-checking tools section, and today we're going to fact-check some photos. So your problem is someone sent me a photo claiming it's from a news event today. How do I confirm it? A couple of really helpful tools for this. Google image search, images.google.com, which you've probably used before just looking for images. We can do what's called a reverse image search on it. And a reverse image search will allow you to go back in time, take a look at where that photo was first published and where it was published. So when and where, it answers those two questions. TinEye is another tool, tineye.com, that also does reverse image searches. I tend to use that as a backup to my Google image search, just to double check. It runs a little different algorithm and sometimes produces results that the Google image search doesn't. Another good tool is Photo Forensics, which we're going to play with. It allows you to actually break apart the metadata and detect if there's been any layering done on a news photo. And if they're adding layers on top of a photo in a news photo, especially, that's not a good thing. That means they're adding something to it outside of maybe a layer of text. That's not a good thing. And in our previous video, we looked at Google Earth, how to double check a location as well. So let's dig into the tools. Images.google.com should be linked off of the page that you're reviewing this video on. You can type a search in here. I can type in Mount Rushmore, and just to give you an idea of where all the tools are in this interface. The tool section is right here, right underneath the camera and the dictation, and it allows you to use these little pull-down menus. You can look by time, only for photos in the last 24 hours, past year, past month. That can be helpful for fact-checking a photo if you want to see when it was first published. You also can look at usage rights for looking for various photos. We cover this pretty thoroughly in our search section of our training. But just to show you that the tools are under there and what's operating in the background of this software when you're using it. Now, when you're fact-checking photos, a lot of times people send photos to you over social media or something. Oh my God, look at this great photo from a soccer game, and sometimes bad Photoshop just screams out at you. You don't even need these red circles here to notice. This guy holding the beer appears 3 times. Someone photoshopped those fans in to make the crowd look a little bit bigger. So you run into that from time to time, and it's what I call the eyeball test. It just jumps out at you. But other times things aren't quite so obvious. Here's a photo of a giant beach ball rolling wild through the streets of London, chasing cars. It appears to be in a rainstorm. Now, at first glance, I look at this photo, and I could easily Photoshop that beach ball in there. Make it look real big, make it look very ominous, oh my God, 3 stories high, that type of thing. But if you want to double check and know for sure, you can go up here, and I'm just going to drag mine in. My photo's on my desktop. You can also right click on the image on the internet. If it's out on the web already, you can just right click on it. It gives you look up in Google Images. That's the other way to do it. But I'll drag mine off my desktop just because it's sitting there. And it'll upload the file, and the results it gives back are possible related searches. It gives me something in French there, and as I scroll down through here, I start to see a bunch of stories that have been written on this using this photo. This photo appears on all of these web pages, and begin to see these stories from The Guardian and. As I get to page 2 here, there's some from The Mirror, BuzzFeed, other media outlets, even Twitter's been sharing it, the Islington Gazette, some others in here as well, the Mirror's in here, and a few others. But as you go through and start to open up these stories, and I'll crack this one open here, it's from the St. Jude Storm. This was the live blog that The Guardian did on it about all the damage because of this big windstorm and rainstorm came through and it smashed, cars and stuff like that. There actually was a big display with a giant beach ball, and the beach ball broke loose. And this is, as you scroll down here, you'll be able to find the photo. There it is. Giant beach ball escaped and was rolling wild through the streets of London. It's actually a real photo, even though it looks doctored. It's actually a real photo. So you can see it already had appeared in some news coverage. Other ways, you could see this is if it's off a breaking story, you might do a search on this, and find that it hasn't appeared anywhere yet. And then you can be a little more skeptical of it, or maybe it's appeared on somebody's Twitter or Facebook, or it's appeared on another news outlet's page, or maybe somebody said this photo's from today, and you search it and you see it from 5 years ago, you'll know that someone's messing with you. So and there's another shot of the beach ball after it died its death out on the street there. So it's kind of an interesting little story, but I do this for a reason, just to show you guys that sometimes something that might appear to be fake, is actually real. It's one of those little oddity photos that kind of throw you off. Here's one that should be very familiar to you. This is a Hurricane Sandy street shark. You can see the bad Photoshop here right around. This is a doctored photo. This is supposedly a shark swimming down the streets of New Jersey. It is not. It is actually Photoshopped in there, as well as the water is Photoshopped in as well. So I want to show you how a fake photo appears in here when you drag it in. So I'll just drag it over, and we'll see. It screams out at us pretty quickly that it appears on pages like Snopes, and shows other fake images. Shark in my street is the search term people are using to find it. And as we get through here, there's a bunch of them. And always dig down a page. There's one there that said 10 fake photos of Hurricane Sandy. Here's another one, fake or not, and you can find these pretty quickly in some of these photo blogs, and they can show you, that they indeed are fake. 10 fake photos of Hurricane Sandy from the week. That one pretty much summarizes it. So that is a good way, to double check, a fake photo as well. If you aren't getting results out of Google reverse image search, TinEye works real well as well. You can upload an image here or cut and paste a link to a web address to a photo through here. You can also add it to Google Chrome as a little browser extension, and you can look it up. It'll give you the little eyeball up here, so you can use TinEye or RevEye to reverse image search photos. So it's a good one. It runs a little different algorithm than Google does, so you might get some results out of here that you don't out of others. Another good one is this website called photoforensics.com. It's FOTO, forensics.com. This has a little bit more science to it. There's a tutorial here that you can play through. It takes you about 10 minutes to get through it, but I'll give you just kind of the overview of it, just so you get a feel for it. Let's say your fake photo, hasn't shown up anywhere in Google search, and you want to see, somebody doctored this photo. Give it the eyeball test. Does it look quite right? And you want to be able to double check and see if somebody's been doing some layers and some editing to this photo that may have changed the appearance. So I can choose a file here. I can click on here. I can also cut and paste a link to a photo in there as well. And I can go out here and select my Hurricane Sandy street shark photo. We know that one has some issues. We're going to upload the file here. And the minute the photo appears in here, it gives you a tool down the left-hand side here to analyze it. The first place you can go and look real quickly is metadata. Metadata is what's embedded into the photo, information about the photo. It'll show you what kind of camera was used, what photo editing tool was last used on it, the image width and height. And many times in Photoshop, photographers can go in and add in their credit and things like that. So you might be able to see some information in here about the photo. And this doesn't render much to me. It tells me it's in JPEG format. It's 600 pixels by 450, and it had some work done on it in Photoshop CS6. So that's an older photo. It doesn't yield much to us. When we start to look at some of these other things, though, that break down and analyze a photo, if you look at JPEG percentage, and the training video goes into the science of this, but I'll give you the overview of it. When you look at JPEG percentage and you see a number repeating itself many times, like this 31 is, that tells you that this photo has been opened, layered, and then flattened as a JPEG image. So it's a big red flag when you see a number repeat itself in here in the luminance and chrominance area of photo forensics. So again, that's a little more science than you're probably interested in, but if you're really stuck on a photo and reverse image search hasn't done much for you, run it through photo forensics, and again, it can save you a lot of embarrassment down the road. So very helpful tool. And if you want to really dig into some of these other little entries in here, as well as the metadata and the source and hidden pixels and things like that in there, you just begin to see some of the bad Photoshop there. You can really go through this and play through that little tutorial right down here in the lower left-hand corner. Again, it takes you about 10 minutes to get through it, but just so you can kind of see how this photo was doctored and layered in, it gives it away pretty quickly. So Google reverse image search, TinEye, and photo forensics, two really good photo editing tools. We're going to do an exercise in the next video where you're going to take some photos and reverse image search them. It's a lot of fun. It's very challenging, so you're going to get to put these skills to the test. Remember, you can drag and drop them in, or you can right click on them. Control click if you're on a Mac, and look up. Look up in Google Images, and it will reverse image search it right in the browser for you. Or you can download them and drag them in like I showed you. Either way is fine. All right, good luck on your quiz. We'll see you on the next video.